Hey all, how's it going? Before I get started with this story, I want to set it up just a little bit. You see, Nutjob Hills is a partially fictional version of the city of northeastern Arkansas that I live in. I started writing about the denizens of Nutjob Hills and their sometimes wacky and downright odd activities several years ago. When I did so, it was with the understanding that some of the stories would be purely fictional, and some of them would be true stories that I have changed the names and sometimes a detail or three to protect the guilty. I've also made it clear in the past that instead of saying whether a story was true or fiction, that I would leave that determination up to the people reading the stories. In retelling these stories here, I intend to continue that policy. With that said, here's the story of the ever-present bologna sandwich. In spite of how long I've lived here, which is well over a decade, and some of the things that I've seen and heard about from the wackier denizens of Nutjob Hills, I have to admit that they can still surprise me once in a while. One good example is a guy whom I'll call Oscar. Oscar is, for the most part, a fairly normal guy. He works 5 days a week in a local retail store, pays his taxes, takes good care of his wife and kids. He tinkers with his car, mows his lawn, takes out the garbage, and dutifully brings the trash cans down to the street every Sunday night for pickup on Monday morning. In all honesty, there's really only one thing about him that gives him away as a native-born resident of Nutjob Hill, and that would be the bologna sandwich. You see, he always has at least one on him at all times, no matter where he is or what's going on. I first encountered him the winter before last when I was attending to some business in City Center. He was getting out of his car and headed into the store that he now works at when he stopped and pulled a bologna sandwich out of his coat pocket, took a bite, and put it back before heading into the store. I later learned that he's liable to do this at any given moment, regardless of where he is or what's going on. Now, you'd think that suddenly taking a bite out of a sandwich in the middle of a job interview would not qualify as a good job search tactic, but strangely enough, in this case, it actually got him the job. Apparently, he explained to his would-be employer that he has an eating disorder, and that it requires him to be able to frequently eat something quickly with little or no notice. As a result, he hardly ever eats anything but bologna sandwiches. He got the job. Partly because of honesty and explaining his odd behavior, and partly because the owner reasoned that if this guy is forever munching bologna sandwiches, he wouldn't be eating the product the way most employees end up doing. Honestly, I have to say that Oscar turned out in the end to not be quite as odd as many around here, but I'm still a little bit queasy every time I see him pull an unwrapped sandwich out of his pocket while he's jogging or mowing the lawn and take a bite. I mean, think about that. How long has that sandwich been in his pocket? And it's in all kinds of weather. In cool weather, it would probably be better than warmer weather, but still, carrying a bologna sandwich in your pocket all day, taking bites out of it at random times, and just imagine what the inside of that pocket must look like. Oh boy! Well, that's the story of the ever-present bologna sandwich. Now, I've got a lot of these stories. I've been doing this Nutjob Hills storyline for a long time, and there's a lot of these stories. If you'd like to hear more of them, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll be doing more of them. I might even be able to make some of them into skits or sketches or something like that. Be sure not to miss tomorrow's episode of Ask TFC. Once again, I've got a bunch of, shall we say, interesting questions that have been submitted anonymously on FormSpring, and there is still plenty of time to submit more questions either by FormSpring, in the comments here, private message on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Take it easy. I'm out of here.
Hello all, it's Wednesday, November the 24th. The thing about the people of Nutjob Hills is that just when you think they can't surprise you anymore, they do. There are 13 new subscribers: Chicago Frank 2010, Robin Sings for Christ, Warlock 0160, godifalk, SuperheldMax, dimagoku, TheAnimationWarrior, Sexxypartner, EvansDailyVlogs, EvanX275H Music, EvanX275H, EvanInaYear, and EvanX275H Effects. Welcome and thank you very much for subscribing. The dirty word of the day: juice.